or the middle in preparation for it. Your speaker today is Richard Walker, and he's going to be talking about wind energy education opportunities, and he's from the Texas Wind Energy Institute. Richard Walker is founder and principal of Sustainable Energy Strategies Incorporated, which provides consulting services to utilities, developers of renewable energy products, and large landowners. He's also an instructor of wind energy at Texas A&M University, and he's a registered professional engineer in the state of Texas. He received an undergraduate degree in civil engineering and a master's of business administration from Texas A&M University, and currently he is working toward a PhD degree in wind science engineering at Texas Tech. And I would like to welcome Richard Walker. I hope you enjoy the talk. Thank you.
Hey, glad everybody's here. So you got to listen to an Aggie and a Red Raider at the same time here. I guess I'm not only a what do you call it, mixed marriage, it's a mixed person, I guess. So I have been involved in the wind energy industry for about 15 years now. From the industry side, and just kind of got a wild hair and went back to college after a long time. And so yeah, I'm in the PhD program at Texas Tech, but the past 15 years have been developing wind farms, doing research on wind farms, things like that. So that's kind of my background. So I guess I like an interactive format, but I guess we're going to hold questions to the end. So write them down. You know, we also have a Texas Tech and the Texas Wind Energy Institute, which I'll discuss, as a booth just right behind this tent over there. So if you're interested in our programs, come see us. We have cards where you can get on our mailing list or whatever it is. Right over there. Okay, so what we'll talk about today is our the Texas Wind Science and Engineering Research Center at Texas Tech, the growth of the wind energy industry, history of wind energy in Texas, number of jobs that this industry is expected to generate, and then talk about some of the universities that are offering wind energy programs, and then more specifically about programs at Texas Tech. So the history of Texas Tech's in wind goes back almost 40 years now. It was 1970. A tornado went through the middle of Lubbock, Texas, where Texas Tech is located. It killed, I want to say, 26 people. The building that is still the tallest in town was actually hit by the tornado and twisted. And so the civil engineering professors at Texas Tech were asked to come down and take a look at it and see if they could figure out if the building was still safe for occupants. They also asked Texas Tech to start thinking about, are there ways to build better houses for people who might not be killed by tornadoes. So that was kind of the genesis of what's now called the Wind Science and Engineering Research Center, or our acronym is WISE, W-I-S-E. So about 2003, the university thought they saw a lot of wind energy happening as well, saw some common characteristics between wind science and engineering and the structural aspects of it, the meteorological side of it, and said, right, maybe that's a good place to start the wind energy program at Texas Tech. So that's what has happened. They hired the Dean of Engineering away from the University of Texas at El Paso, Dr. Andy Swift, brought him in to start the wind energy program. A couple of years ago, our PhD was accredited in wind science and engineering, where you can major in wind energy, or you can emphasize the meteorological side of it and the structural integrity side of it. So that's our program at Texas Tech, and we're continuing to add more and more and more in the wind energy side. So that's primarily what I'm going to be talking about today. A couple of years ago, we put in a grant with the state and the Texas Workforce Commission, and we were successful in getting that. And they gave us $1 million the first year, $1 million this year, to develop, in conjunction with Texas State Technical College, programs designed in educating people in wind energy. So together, that partnership is called the Texas Wind Energy Institute. So So it's Texas Tech, TSTC, together, the Texas Wind Energy Institute. So TSTC kind of does the technical training, the guys that like to work on the turbines, climb the towers, operate the wind farms. We do the professional training, engineers, atmospheric scientists, things like that. So I'll talk more about that a little later on. Get into a little bit of the background on wind energy, and a lot of this you may already know, but this is a wind map of the United States, and the kind of darker reddish orange areas there, that means higher wind speed. And you can see it goes all the way from Texas all the way up to North Dakota. And that's kind of the Saudi Arabia wind is how they call it. Texas Tech, or Lubbock, is located right in the heart of that. So we think we're well situated to be a university teaching about wind energy. So wind power is also booming. You probably know that as well. In 2008, wind energy capacity in the United States grew by 33%, 31% growth the year before that. Even though we're in a little bit of a downturn this year, it's still growing pretty well. If you look at the red line right here, that represents, the red bar represents the wind energy installed through the middle of the year so far. So that's 6 months. And if you double that, we're pretty much, we'd be almost at the same pace as we were in 2008. And that's in the midst of this economic downturn. So I think there are a few industries that can show that type of growth rate. Maybe, I'm expecting to be just slightly less in the second half, but in 2009, 2010, this industry is going to be rolling just like it has been the past few years. Texas, it's even more so. Texas is the leader in wind power capacity in the United States. We're probably at least double, maybe triple the next state, which I believe is now Iowa. So it's growing very fast here. Again, you can see the red bar. We've done pretty well in Texas so far. First, I want to say that's about 1,300 megawatts installed just in the first half of this year alone. It's about 900 megawatts, I believe, still under construction. So I went through the Sweetwater Roscoe area on the way here, and the Lorraine project there is supposedly getting started. So it's still going pretty strong in Texas. So now, being a native Texan, I always like to think of, if Texas were its own country, right? So if it were, Texas would be 6th in the world in installed wind energy capacity. So you got the United States. If you take away Texas, it still would have, what is that, 22,000, 21,000 megawatts in the United States outside of Texas. So Germany has got quite a bit. We had a group of German engineering students over here just last week, but they wanted to go see the Sweetwater area because of all the wind farms there. They have a lot in Germany, and most of them are smaller. They have a lot of very small versions. Spain has a lot of wind energy as well. China and India, that's where I really see the opportunity there. I mean, those countries, you hear things like China's adding 1 coal plant a week or something like that. So I'd rather see them add a whole bunch of wind turbines every week rather than coal plants, I suppose. So, just the population growth over there, the demand for energy, it's going to be huge. That's one of the things in my mind I think is very critical to why renewable energy is so important. I mean, if they're over there competing with us for fossil fuels, think about what the prices could be. Then you have all the environmental consequences of that as well. So we need to focus on renewable energy in this country.
Does China have the?
You need to
the same?
hold your question to the end if you can.
Okay. Hold that thought. Okay, well, what are our sources of energy in the United States? So I think this is very relevant to our strategies for energy in this country, and for renewable energy in particular. What do we use for energy? And so this slide represents all energy. So transportation fuels, electric fuels for industries, everything like that. You can see petroleum, the biggest block there, 37%. That is petroleum. So that's how most of us got here, right? So putting that gasoline in our vehicles. Hey, no way. I guess I'm going to have to talk faster. Got a mind of its own. So 24% natural gas, primarily that's either industrial or for electric generation. Coal, big chunk of that.